Hi guys and girls, it's Pete, Mindwiseman's channel, aka Maverick Outdoors, and today is the 2nd of February, Saturday 2013, and it's just an impromptu last minute decision. Needed to get out, get some dirt time, so I've come into one of my nearer local woods, ancient woodland that's about 3 square miles of woodland and rustic ruralness, and it's 4:15 p.m. so I've got about an hour of daylight. It's going to take me about half hour to actually get to the prospective location that I did about a year and a half ago. So I'm just going to do a stealthy wild one just overnight. The cloud cover's coming, or just a little bit of cloud you can see up there. It's pretty blue sky, but the cloud cover is moving from north to south. So that means we're going to get a cold front coming over tonight. There's no cloud cover that's actually kept any warmth from the sun. It's been quite a sunny day today. But there's no cloud cover that's kept the warmth in at all. So I think it's going to be a fresh night. And I'm going to be using the same kit that I used when I did the overnight on a hill a couple of weeks ago, which was the first video for 2013. So this is the second one. So as you can see, the main access path to get into these woods, or one of the main ones, is pretty muddy and waterlogged due to the inclement weather we've had and the defrosting and melting of the snows. So I've come on another slightly different bridleway which goes parallel with it. So I've got a bit of a safer, firmer terra firma ground to walk on, and less chance of slipping over and getting muddy boots. What's the point of making your clothes dirty when you can slightly divert onto a slightly different route and it's more safer and comfortable, as you can see here. Nice and solid. As you can see, I've got a Kasha safari dog. But anyway, I'm going to get a move on. I might do a few little pan arounds on the route there, but I really need to get a move on so I can set up on the particular site. Whoa, just looking further on, the path right down there, don't know if you can see it, but sort of down there, it's totally flooded. So, but here I go, I'm now going to go back down. Gosh, down the car. So anyway, bear with me, and when I get nearer to the site I'll show you around. But I'm off that way. Okay, I've come a little bit further on. As you can see, pretty sludgy where the divots and pits are in the path. Obviously it collects the water and gets all sludgy, so I've had to try and walk around the other side. But it's all nice and quiet around here. And once I get to a little bit of pine woodland, which is to my right, about another half a kilometre, then I'm going to verge off to the left and pitch up. Nice view, as if the path has been structured specifically to be in line with the solar constellation. Anyway, it's the cedary piney trees. What I'm going to do now is hang a left and go into this woodland, which normally isn't accessible unless you've got marauding dogs coming through. But I'm going to make my way into the centre over here. Find some uprights on the trees because I haven't got Basha poles, although I have got my 6 section staff hole that I utilised and showed on the overnight on the hill in the snow. So anyway, I'm going to trek on and make my way over there. So I've come into the centre, found 2 uprights. I've just double checked for providing it's not too windy tonight. I don't think there'll be any widow makers within these trees. They look all pretty strong. So I've got an upright. I'm just going to do a simple A shape but high level, so the ridgeline will come across to there. Lucky enough that's loose, so I'm going to move that, get that out of the way, trim back some of this, and the ground level is pretty good. Slight slope coming down this way, so my head's going to be there, feet's going to be there, and the sort of tarp will be up like that. Anyway, it's now 4:45. I've got about 45 minutes of decent light, similar to what it is now. As you can see, it's pretty clear sky, the odd bit of sort of misty type of cloud, but I can feel freshness getting in the air. It's warm walking in with that rucksack, but I'll just give you a quick spec. All the shelter kit's in there, strapped in. There's my Norgie shirt, took that off because it was getting hot. Utility pouch, some cook kit in there, windshield for the cooker, first aid kit in there, head torch, what else we got, gloves if I need them. In the bottom half, sleep kit, sleeping bag, softy trousers, fleece smock, and in there bits of food. The owls have started hooting. I think it was a male owl, because the females will twit and then the males will answer woohoo. So I've heard a few woohoos in the woods coming from an owl. It won't be from me. Anyway, I'm going to set up my Basha now. What are you sniffing? Safari dog. Are you a safari dog? Yeah? Say hello. Say hello, YouTube. Okay guys and gals, I've set up the Basha. Don't think you can see it very well in the dark. There's a paracord going down. I got the ridge line going across there. But anyway, I'll tell you about it more tomorrow morning. But it's just coming up to about 8:30 now. It's a clear sky. You can see the stars up there. Easy to see because there's no leaves and anything on the branches. So, and I'm just going to come underneath. There's your doggy. It's cold. So he's got a camo coat on. So anyway, I'm going to knock up some scoff now. And what I'm going to be making is kettle on the brew on the butane gas stove. Boil up some water, and I've got 350ml to go into this, so you just peel it off, but I'll be saying more about these. I'll explain a little bit more in the morning, but I've got to add 350ml of boiling water to it and then stir it up, and then seal up the top of the bag and leave it for about 8 to 10 minutes, and it rehydrates the food. So it's the one that I actually featured but didn't actually include eating it when I was up on the hill, the overnight on the hill. But so it's lightweight. I brought water with me, it's just over there. But of course the really good things with dehydrated food, if you want to go really lightweight and with your pack and your rucksack, with all your kit basically, and you want to be lightweight, and you know you can definitely have access to water, whether it's boiling up, defrosting, melting snow, ice, you've got access to streams and you can treat it so then it's consumable, then you can have, for lightweight, just have dehydrated food. So anyway, I'll get back on that in a little while. But I'm going to have that chicken tikka with rice. As always, if I can do any more filming in the dark that's of interest, then I'll include it. But if not, I'm going to be maybe having a little trek around the woods. I won't be able to film it because there's not enough light to this camera won't actually pick it up. So if I don't do anything else more in the dark, then I'll show you around the Basha in the morning. So in between me biscuit box and my other small food box, got me sugar, other bits and pieces in there, a rice, coffee, just a few bits, keep it nice and contained. Then I've got in between that, standing as you can see, the dehydrated food packet, which is now just shining the light along the edge. I've just zip sealed it, and I've now got to keep that sealed up for about 8-10 minutes, and then I'll be able to take it down my throat. So be good. So a bit of hot warm food. But imagine if I'd have actually sourced the water from the stream not far from here, which I would have done if I was going to stay here for a few days. I wouldn't have brought any water at all, and I could have trekked about, but I just wanted to pitch up here tonight without having to rummage around, you know, to sort of get water. But anyway, dehydrated dinner. Rehydrated to eat, it's nearly there. Got a couple of minutes to go. So anyway, odds on, I'll see you in the morning. Good morning people, it's now Sunday the 3rd of Feb 2013 and it's just come up to about 8:30 in the morning, and last night the chill factor was down to -1 to -2. There was no actual breeze, there was a real coldness in the air, but when it was just all very calm and just cold, without the breeze, it was about -1. Akasha, the dog's little drink container that I had to improvise because I didn't bring a drink bottle. I was just going to dig a hole and line it with a bit of plastic, but what I decided to do was cut the side off of the small drinks carton, rinse it out, and then use that as a drinking vessel for her. And the remnants of her drinking water last night, about midnight, had actually frozen over. So yeah, there was a chill factor, hence in the Gore-Tex bivvy bag and layered up and what have you. But also, should we call it a two-person or one man and his dog bivvy? Let's have a look, see who we've got in here. Ah, hello. Was you all Gore-Texed up last night, were you? Say hello, YouTube. Yeah, so here's the hood end, little pillow. Could have used my rucksack, but it's got bits and pieces in it and it's just awkward to put in the end. But I thought, well, I brought the little pillow with me as a contingency for comfortable headrest, so use it, lightweight. So there's a little drinks container. It's defrosted now. There was just a orange carton which is utilised, which actually is about the same sort of shape and size and sort of format as the little scoop device, or should I say the tray device that the water sort of hangs down from the bottle and then she just sort of drinks out of it, like as if my hand was it. So I thought, rather than use one of my pans, I can just improvise that, and that did her well until it froze over. But by then she'd all drunk enough water and settled for the night. Anyway, I'm going to get some food on the go, and then I'll show you around the just a sort of vista of the woods and where I was last night and where I'm going to be for another few hours. Okay, before I make something to eat, and sort of strike down some of the Gore-Tex bivvy to give myself some floor space, I'll just show you everything in situ. You can see here there's a trench, goes all the way along here, and there's also another one right over there. So I'm sort of right in the middle of these two trenches, which are not that inviting for general sort of ramblers and walkers of this wood, but there's a path in relation to this trench which is right beyond those trees, which goes up that way, And there's another path which goes right over there, you can't even see it, it's that far away. And there's another one here. I'm sort of encompassed by sort of 3 main paths, but they're a good anything from sort of 150 to 200 metres at least away from me, so that's good. And then being in the middle of these 2 trenches is sort of a quite a good area to be, because there's loads of fallen trees. Not fallen trees, but just dead wood. So I'm right in the area, so unless you've got a real reason to come into this area, I'm going to be pretty well undisturbed. As you can see, I use a bit of camo netting just as a last resort. It's mainly placed because when I sort of wrecked the area and known the area from before, over that direction, sort of going along there, is one of the main paths. And last night, midnight, right over there, there were head torches flashing around, because I could sort of decipher where the ground level was. So unless someone was actually holding the torch up like that, it was definitely a head torch. And they were flashing around for about sort of half an hour, from about midnight to about 12:30, and sort of right beyond the woods there's residential properties sort of that direction, and there's also a few residential properties a mile and a half, 2 miles down that way. So I stopped, looked around to see if there were any other torches, because I thought maybe someone might have been up to the same thing, coming for a late night trek into the woods and doing the same thing as me. But I didn't hear any voices, and I didn't hear any dogs barking either. So I can just, all I can presume is either someone was just late night walk, using this pathway even at sort of midnight, one of the pathways to actually get to their house or wherever. So, but that's the logistics of it. Otherwise, why would they be mad enough to be in the woods at 12:30 at night? Beats me. So you can see the camo netting. Not the best of concealment in straight lines, but I thought, well, it's better than nothing. I brought it with me as a contingency, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to have a really low profile and whether I'd sort of use it to sort of conceal me even better if I was a little bit more exposed. But actually coming to this particular point, it's the most midpoint of this bit of the woods, so that's a plus. So I thought, well, I brought it with me, so I might as well just use it. So from a distance, it sort of just blends in that little bit more. Well, it blends in a bit more than not having it, so hence using it. Using the uprights of the trees, I used one length. I was going to cut it and just sort of connect it to the end and then loop it around with the slip knot. But then I thought, well, rather than cut it, I can actually, these trees from there to there is just the right measurement to use this whole length. So what I did, as you could see, I looped it around the tree, slip knot, and extended it through the loop of the tarp. But to keep it fastened, I used one of these clip-ons, threaded it through the mid loop, then onto the end loop, or should I say the whole length of the cord through this loop, then pulled up the clip-on to fasten it onto the paracord, then brought it up to here, just a really crude slip knot, loop it round, so then that held up the ridge. Bit of higher elevation on this side. Had this stick during the night, it was down, so it was sort of just a straight line going across horizontally, but then brought it up. So I like to, if I'm not going for total concealment, then as you know, I like to have a little bit of space underneath, so it's sort of easy to get in and out. So hence this coming up a little bit there, down there, piece of wood that actually was standing, didn't even have to cut it, although I trimmed it, so it's a solid bit of wood. And then just fasten down here. This head end corner, just prusik looped the paracord through the loop of the tarp, paracord all the way down, and then just loop fastened around this bit of wood, which is heavy enough to keep it to keep it in position. The foot end, bungee cord hooked through power loop, hooked onto another bungee and then pegged in the ground. Another reason why I chose these two trees as the end of the ridge line was because this tree here can use it, if I was going to be here for a longer period of time, I could use it to sort of hang stuff, use it as a prop for different bits and pieces, plus as well use this particular corner here to bungee and then just loop around this branch. So that was perfect. And from that fastening on that bit of branch to this other head end, 5 sections of my 6 sectional pole that I featured the first time in the overnight on the hill in the snow. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just the right height. Twisted the loop around the end so it keeps it taut, gives it purchase, and then looped the paracord over, brought it down and just pegged it into the ground there. So you can see just from that stick elevating this point, I've got a nice pan radial view without it actually going along horizontal. So that's hitched up now. But before I make something to eat, the sky was really clear last night and it was really strange actually looking up through the trees, through the small branches and the silhouettes against the dark sky, and then the actual stars all sort of shining up above. It was really strange. It was a nice view as well when I went for a walk and just looking up. But I did actually start off to fall asleep with just my sleeping bag over my layers, softy trousers, jacket, norgie and a t-shirt underneath that, and then just in the sleeping bag, which of course the camping canoe dog, she's still in there, aren't you doggy? You're still in there all snugged up. Are you a bit snugged up? Yeah, is it good in there? She knows comfort when she feels it. But then by about 2 o'clock in the morning the temperature really did drop and it got colder, so I put everything, me in the bag and the dog, inside the actual Gore-Tex, this bivvy, and it just made it that extra thermal layer. I was going to see if I could get away without actually using it and just sort of being open to the elements, but it started to get a bit cold, so hence going into the Gore-Tex bag. But it was a good night's sleep and really good insulation. I can't high spec these, the Brit Army mat. I'll do maybe a spec on those individually, but I think it's one of the lightest mats I've ever had. Easy to carry, rolls up really compact, as you would have seen in the overnight on the hill in the snow, and it's lightweight, but it's one of the warmest mats. It really sort of radiates your heat back, your body heat, and yet it's a bit of a contradiction in terms, because you can see here there's actually sort of like indents, whereas if the sponge thermal lining that's inside has like got not perforations but sort of like little oval holes. Now whether or not you'd sort of think, well then does that open up the ground coldness to come through, or your body heat, which obviously moves faster than cold, actually goes into the mat and then stays stored in the little holes. I don't know, but it's one of the warmest mats I've had anyway. So but anyway, I'm going to get even warmer now and I'm going to make some scoff. So I've got one of these, my old favourite, which I'm going to heat up on the gas stove and get some warming calorie food down my throat, and then maybe just have a look round the woods. And if I've got enough battery, my battery's going down because in this sort of weather your batteries, I've tried to keep them warm, but in this weather they just sort of discharge and lose their power really quickly when the weather's cold. So provided I've got enough battery power left, I'll just see if there's anything else of interest to include on the vid. But at least you'll see once I've actually packed up the out of sight, out of mind, and right at the end and leave no trace. So at least I'll include that. So anyway, I'll catch you in a little while. Just a little thing about the windshield around any sort of primer stove, any sort of cooking bit of kit. Although you can't actually, I don't know if you can see the flame that easily. Right, it's sort of going upwards, okay. So, although there's no breeze, I can't feel anything. If I take the screen away, you can see the flame is going over this way. I just hope you can see it. And then when I put the screen back, notice how the flame goes back upright. Which in turn means whatever you're heating up, all the heat is going to go onto the container. You're going to be using less fuel. So if you're out for quite a long time, and again you only want to say take one of these which might last you on and off for a day and a half, 2 days, depending obviously if you're boiling, put it on full blast, or whether you're just using it lightly just to heat up like I've done there. Consider having some sort of wind guard, because as I say, I'll just try and see if you can see it once more. That's vertical, so I know all the heat's going to go up, that which in turn means I can maybe turn it down and use less of it, which is saving fuel. As soon as I take that away, this is now going over that way. So to save fuel and save cooking time, it's worth having something like that. I've even used a rucksack before, felt the direction of the wind and not had a guard with me. Been on a riverbank a couple of years ago and I just put my rucksack, and it made my dual fuel Primus single burner work more effectively. So it's worth considering. Even when you don't think it's windy, just being exposed 360 degrees will make the flame burn quicker and more fuel. I think the dog's got the upper hand. Bit of chill time, just had something to eat. Gosh, she's sniffing around. Saw a squirrel a bit, well, saw 2 squirrels a bit earlier, scampering around, not even 10 foot away. Nosy, cheeky little beggars they are. I know, hey squirrels. Right. Shall we get a move on? Shall we get a move on? Come on then, let's move. Right, I'm going to tidy up now, pack some stuff away. Okay people, while there's still a bit of daylight, I'll show you how I'm going to... I'll show you where actually all the bits and pieces of my shelter kit and protection will go into this bag. I've just acquired this. It's another Dutch Army issue. It's a polyester material, but it's impregnating with polyurethane, so it's waterproof. Washable, but I'm not going to wash it. It says on the label because I don't want the polyurethane waterproof to fatigue or come out of it. But anyway, this mat, if you can imagine, will be curved and put in first. Then I'll slide into the bag this lengthways, which is the bivvy, Goretex bivvy, and then I'll slide that down next to it. Then this as well, so if you can imagine. So parts of it will be 2/3 to 3/4 up to the top pull string cord, and then the bit of space that's left, bag of fixings, camo net, and then just wedge that down the side. So I'll show you when it's all been compressed together and stuck in that bag. Sorted, all packed away, and then it will be strapped horizontally just there on these straps just here. Well, I've had to actually improvise so it didn't pull all the pack sort of forward, because this is a small span. To actually take the length of that pack can be a little bit wobbly, so what I had to do, I had to bring some of the strap into the top of the shoulder straps, so it sort of kept it central. But I'll show you it in situ once I've packed up, before I'm ready to go. Ah, dog's brought to life again. Where's the stick? Where's the stick? Get a stick then. Get a stick then. Get a stick then. You're playing with a stick. Go on, you're giving it a chew. Hello, doggy. Okay, so all packed up, ready to go. It's just coming up to 4 o'clock. Gosh, she's getting excited. because she's going home to a real bed, although she does love the outdoors, little safari dog. But anyway, it's rucksack, shelter kit strapped around. The straps are actually fastened to the top lid of the rucksack that would normally go over and sort of into the other plastic mounting, which is just underneath. If I'd have just relied on that from there to there, it would have maybe brought this forward a little bit and wobbled about. So what I did, I unstrapped it, and as you can see, I brought it underneath, but brought it to the strap that harnesses the upper part, so you can actually pull the pack sort of into the top of your shoulders if need be, with this strap that's here, as you can see it just there. So what I did, I looped it round here, brought it round, and obviously clipped it exactly the same the other side, so it stays more in situ to being central, so that when I walk, you know, it's not wobbling about. You know what it's like, other things bashing on your backside if you've got things hanging off the rucksack, but that will keep all nice and steady, vertically upright. So as you can see, I'm dressed ready for a trek, just a vest and t-shirt, and I'm going to kick up a little bit of a sweat and a heat, because I've got a bit of a trek going over there. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little second outing of 2013. We were prospect to have rain, that's why I put the shelter up, put the tarp over the Gore-Tex bivvy, but the rain stayed off today. So again, it's sort of a bit fresh, it's about 4 to 5 degrees. So it'll be a nice sort of fresh air walk back. So once again, thanks for watching, really appreciate your support, all your interest in all the videos, the comments and everything, and thanks for the new subscribers. If I don't get a chance to get back to you, it does take a really long time to sort of thank everybody, so I do at least reply to every single comment that's left on all the videos, even if there's a bit of a delay. You know, we need about, I don't know, 30 hours in the day if we were to sort of stay on YouTube all the time, like full time. But obviously sometimes we don't have time to do that, so if I don't get back to you and you've newly subscribed, really thank you very much, I'm really grateful. And as I say, I do reply to all comments to do with the videos, whatever the aspect. So I'm off now, stick that on my back, put Karsh on the lead. Oh, she's sent something else again. And again, as always, be out there, be safe, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers, take care.